Hello, Sonoma County. Welcome back to our channel. Are you thinking about listing your home soon and wondering what does it take to get multiple offers and sell over our listing price on our property? Well, you're in for a treat. We're going to review our team tactics for listing a property, getting the most eyes on it, and selling for the best price possible. You're going to want to stick around. But first, I'm Morgan DeVincenzi with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we help people move into, out of, and all around Sonoma County every single year. So if you are thinking about making that move, stepping into your next chapter, listing your current home, transitioning into your next phase, whether that be a bigger home, a smaller home, a different location, or just switching things up entirely, that's fine. Let us help. From the listing process to the buying process, we'll make sure it's a success. Listing your home is a process, especially if you live in that home. But either way, it's quite the task to take on. What do you need to repair? What do you need to pack up? What do you need to update? How do you plan ahead to make sure this is worth your while and propels you in the right trajectory to get to your next goal? The next goal, the home sale, really needs to match what that next goal is. If your next goal is buying a bigger house, we need to maximize what that home sale is. If your next goal is buying a smaller house, we still need to maximize this home sale to make sure that you are comfortable in the next property and you have plenty of cash as a cushion to feel nice and confident. Achieving multiple offers is never quite a guarantee, and if any agent looks you in your face and tells you that it's a guarantee, that means they're gonna use some outrageous strategy that you probably aren't gonna be comfortable with anyways. So let's just kind of call that out as it is. That being said, there's certain tactics that increase the likelihood of multiple offers and increase the likelihood of those multiple offers resulting in a higher sales price. We've done this, we've seen this, we love this for us and our clients. So let's dive in. But first, a quick little story. Just a few months ago, we had a property listed in Sebastopol, California, darling area, great little town, great location for the property itself. Property was on a half acre, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, easy to love. We listed the house at a very realistic price point. The seller was moving out of state to be closer to family, and he knew he needed a certain amount of money to make his next purchase, have a cushion for the moving expenses, have a cushion for getting reacclimated in a new area. We listed the house at a very realistic price point that the seller was confident with, but employing the tactics that we're gonna go through today, we got 3 offers and sold for $100,000 over the listing price. This is not trying to take advantage of buyers. This is just maximizing the opportunity to find motivated buyers and then negotiate to make sure that we're accepting the right offer. So congratulations to our seller. Maybe you'll be next. Here are 9 tactics that we use in our listings for every listing, for every house, to make sure that we maximize that ultimate sales price, hopefully through the multiple offer situation. Let's go. First and foremost, pricing the home strategically. Every home has a range of what the value is. The range can vary depending on the property. One person may look at the property and say, this house is worth $750,000. Of course, we're using Sonoma County home price numbers, so bear with me here. And another person may come in and say, I don't know, it needs just a little bit of updating. I'm thinking 700. Well, based on the neighborhood comps, based on the information that we can pull together, we will advise you on our pricing strategy. I don't believe in listing a home drastically below what it's actually worth. So if we're saying it's worth between $700,000 and $750,000, we are not going to list the home for $600,000 or $650,000. Maybe we'll list the house for $699,000, depending on how it holds up to the neighborhood comps and some of the other information that we will gather, to make sure that when people are searching for homes online, when they're watching the market for the properties that are newly listed, we want to make sure we hit all of those eyeballs. As you probably know, if you're searching for homes online, when you search, you can search from 600 and under, 700 and under. Sometimes they break it down to 650 and under, 625 and under, but when you're in between those thresholds, you kind of get lost in the sauce. So strategically pricing, a lot of people, if they're looking at 700 and under, they're looking because they want a little bit of wiggle room above where those homes are listed. So if they're looking for 700 and under, they're likely willing to go into the mid sevens. But we don't want to miss those people that are looking at 700 and under by pricing the home at 750. Does this make sense? So strategically pricing the home, gauging exactly what your home is likely worth, and then thinking about the buyer pool out there for your property and choosing the right marketing number for a listing price. Create a compelling listing. This is should be a no-brainer, but you need professional photography. You need a video of the property, not just a video walkthrough of the property, but an engaging, enticing video about the neighborhood, the amenities surrounding the schools, and then of course the property walkthrough inside, outside, really showing off what that property has to hold within the property itself, the yard, the neighborhood, and the community. We find this to be so impactful for people to connect with a property and visualize themselves living there. If people can't visualize themselves living in a specific property, they're probably not going to write the offer. Maximize exposure. Once we have all that good, beautiful, quality content, the videos, the photos, the marketing pieces, now we have to get it in front of as many people as possible. And utilizing modern marketing technologies, in addition to all the traditional, we'll put it in MLS, we'll mail to the neighborhood, we'll do flyers, we'll do all the basic stuff. You'll have a sign in your yard, but beyond that, there are so many new and innovative technologies to get properties to the right people. So based on your property, we will use targeted marketing to get your property. If you are in that first-time home buyer, young family price point, we want to get your home in front of those people. We'll use targeting marketing based on behaviors, age, demographics, and a lot of other factors to make sure that when we boost that property out, those are the people that are most likely to buy it, and those are the people that are seeing it. In addition, we'll use YouTube, of course, social media, our real estate connections within the community, because we are very well connected, and make sure that the maximum exposure is a top priority for your property. Hosting an open house. Maybe more than one open house. This goes into exposure and takes it up a notch as well. We have a very specific process for our open houses and find that it really does give us leverage to stay in touch with those that are looking in the market. When we do an open house, we have more than one person present. We set up a table outside. We make everyone check in out of respect for the owners. I don't know why we got into a place in this industry where we just let people walk willy-nilly through houses that people live in and own, and all their things are in there. That just doesn't make sense. Plus, having them check in allows us to have their contact information to follow up with afterwards. Hosting the open houses this way, we tour each group through the home, give them their time to look at the property, follow up with them afterwards, ask for any feedback, and then we can really have an honest gauge of how is the property being perceived from the buyer's point of view. Is the price right? Is the home looking right? Do we need to adjust something? How many offers are we expecting based on the enthusiasm from these attendees at the open house? It's really an incredible opportunity to be face-to-face with those out there looking in the market. Pre-listing inspections and repairs. This is something before the marketing gets done, before the exposure is out there. This is as we're getting the home ready, getting those inspections ahead of time to take away a lot of the negotiating once we have a buyer in contract. We always suggest a home inspection, a pest inspection, and a roof inspection on most properties. If you're in a rural area, a septic and a well inspection are highly advised. Doing these ahead of time, you as the owner get to review the reports ahead of time with us. We'll let you know, hey, these items we would recommend repairing, or these items, you know what, it's normal wear and tear. We can let the buyers decide if they want to replace that item once they take over the property, and they can choose what finish they want, if it's flooring or paint or so on. So there's different ways to kind of handle that. Not everything that comes up in the report is going to be on you to repair, but you can make those decisions to make the repairs ahead of time. And then we're also factoring that into the first item, which was our pricing strategy. You know, if all of a sudden, oh no, we need to make some repairs, there's some pest work that needs to be done, maybe you as a seller don't have the financial means to go ahead and take care of that, or you just don't want to. Well, let's price the home reasonably so the buyers know when they come in that that's already been factored into the price, and they'll take care of it once they own the property. There's ways to negotiate and wiggle around all of these different moving pieces, but you doing these inspections up front puts you in the driver's seat as the seller and us as the listing agent. This is a fun one, a deadline for offers. Now, this doesn't work for every single property because some properties just have a smaller buyer pool that it just generally takes a little bit longer to find that right buyer, and that's okay. But for certain properties, having that offer due date drives the motivation. It says, okay, other agents out there, if you have clients that are interested, we have an offer due date in a week, in 10 days. It's usually relatively quick. So people feel that motivation and that urge, okay, we gotta go see that house. We gotta go to the open house. We gotta go with our agent to see that house. Make sure we see it, review the inspections, all the disclosures we've worked so hard to put together, and then know whether they're gonna put together an offer. And then we're talking to all the agents that show the property, all the open house attendees to gauge that interest leading up to that offer due date. Are we going to receive an offer, multiple offers? What are we anticipating? And then that way you can kind of plan ahead too. Okay, if we receive offers on this date, 30 days later, we should be closed. And now we know the timeline moving forward for your next move. So it gives a little peace of mind as well. Review and negotiate offers carefully. So multiple offers are great, but that doesn't mean every offer is great. And every offer is going to have different pricing, terms, items included and excluded, timelines. These are all factors that have to work for your scenario. Not every buyer that submits an offer is going to submit an offer that works. So of course, we'll look at any offers received, make sure that the pricing, of course, makes sense. From pricing, we also look at timelines and terms. For example, if we've already done full inspections and they're asking for 2 full weeks for another inspection contingency, that makes me a little questionable on, are these buyers going to be complicated buyers? Where other offers may come in and they may have a really short inspection contingency if they have one at all because they recognize that you've already done the reports. Other things like timelines. Sometimes when buyers are writing an offer on your home, they have to finish the sale of their current home to be able to buy your home. Is that something you're willing to take on? All of these different factors are so important to weigh against each other and will help you navigate that process. This leads in perfectly to be flexible with closing terms. We always have that ideal timeline in mind, but in these real estate transactions, there's a lot of moving parts. There's multiple lives being uprooted, quite literally, in this process that things may need to change and adjust. The timelines may be extended, the timelines may be shortened, and if we can be a little bit flexible to accommodate that, a lot of times a flexible timeline means a bit more solid price point. So things to kind of think about and be prepared for. Of course, if a timeline is a dead set timeline that you have to be out of the house and have your funds, well, then that's something to take into account when it comes into pricing, marketing exposure, how we're listing the property, and so on. Emphasizing local real estate trends, especially here in Sonoma County, we have low inventory. We know this, so we need to emphasize that to the buyers that your property coming on market, regardless of when it's coming on market, because inventory is not going to drastically go up overnight. This year, 2024, 2025, we're probably going to still be in a low inventory market overall. So emphasizing that to the buyers, creating urgency for them to get to the property, investigate the property with their agent, give them all the information we can, and make them feel confident to write that offer, knowing that it may be a little while till another property similar to this comes up on the market. That's our job, and that's what we will help you with. Okay. So by implementing these strategies, we put our sellers in the driver's seat from the very beginning of the listing process. We are here to help you, support you, and walk with you through this entire process and make sure it's as stress-free as possible. Our sellers that follow the system can attest that it really does work. The sellers that give a little pushback on this piece or that piece, it does really impact the overall success of the sale. So whether you're working with us or you're out of the area and working with another agent, absolutely make sure that they're implementing these types of strategies in your listing process. If they're not, go ahead and reach out to us. And if you're in a different area and they're not implementing strategies and tactics like this, we can connect you to an agent in our brokerage or in our network that will make sure to use these more aggressive and up-to-date tactics to get your listing sold for the least amount of time on market and the most amount of money in your pocket. That's the goal, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. We always love sharing these tips, tricks, and advising our future clients on how to navigate this wonderful world of real estate. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. Let us know. Drop a comment below. Have you been through the listing process before? Did you do any of these things? Are you planning to list in the future? Let's connect. Hit the subscribe and the bell button, and you'll be notified when we release more helpful information about all things Sonoma County real estate, buying and selling. So look forward to connecting, helping you through your next chapter, selling a home, buying a new one. It's all so exciting and we love it every time. Information's here on the screen. You can reach out, ask those questions, pick my brain. Happy to have that conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.